and alumni started from November 2020 to present. Dr. Juwaidah has main interest in research, especially in agribusiness marketing and consumer behavior towards agro-related and food products. She has secured research grants as project leader and co-research worth more than 600,000 ringgit Malaysia to conduct 13 projects from Universiti Putra Malaysia and the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to invite Dr. Juwaidah Sharufuddin.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Novi, Bu Desiana, for inviting me for this session. If you look at my CV, it's on marketing actually, but then for today, our topics will be financial management in agribusiness. So this is actually from my colleague, but she cannot be here today. So I will share and also discuss on the importance of financial management towards the farmers and also agribusiness firms. Okay. So I think I will share screen. Oh, and very good morning to all the students. I see that we have about 100 plus students here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is for 3-in-1 program in 2022. I've been involved in this program for quite a while, so it's good for the university to have such program. Okay. So actually, when we look at financial management, okay, financial management is concerned with optimal procurement as well as usage of finance. Now, when we want to look at financial management, the ones that I see is that usually smaller scale farmers, they don't look that much on the financial part. But then this is actually will hurt your small businesses, especially if you don't really take care of your finance. Okay, because the objective of financial management is to maximize shareholders' wealth by maximizing the market price of companies' share. Well, small companies, they don't have shares, but then there are things that they really need to look into to make sure that the shareholders' wealth is not only the other owner of the company's wealth, but also the owner of the business. Okay, so usually if we see might be if you are opening up a small mini market, okay, a small store to sell groceries, for example. Sometimes the entrepreneurs, okay, the entrepreneurs sometimes they just see that the money is coming in and the money is going out, but then they forgot to differentiate which one is the owner's money and which one is supposedly used by the business. Okay, so you need to have this differentiation so that at the end of the day you can see your profit, and it whatever that you are using, for example, you want to use some money for today, it does not comes out from the store's money. So sometimes we have these difficulties for new entrepreneurs and small scale businesses. You don't have any allocation, which one is your money and which one is the business money. Okay, so when you don't have this categorization, you tend to feel that you are making profit. Okay, and then you are actually doing good. But then it might be that you did not even take you did not even pay your energy, your time in managing your businesses. Okay, you might not take into consideration the cost of doing things too many times. What I usually see is that this happens mostly for micro companies and also small companies. Okay, so you better be careful on that. Okay, so financial decisions in financial management, it considers on three different issues. It's on investment, financing, and dividend. I cover all these three as if a company is that big to give dividend, okay, to stakeholders. But might be this is also talking about small businesses where you don't have dividend to share with the stakeholders, but it is included in financial management. Okay, so if we look at the roles of financial management, okay, why do we need to take a look at this, or why do we need to ensure that we have a sound financial management? Is because first we will look at capital requirements. Okay, what kind of capital requirements that we are going to have for our own business? Okay, so for today, I will talk into this briefly, and for tomorrow, we will talk about capital budgeting. Okay, and then what's the capital structure of the company? Okay, where do you want to get the money for you to run your business? So you need to know about these two. Okay, there are many sources where you can get the financing of your company, and we will look at the capital structure. Okay, and then we will look into also if we want to take some finance from a certain source, what are the risks that you have to take? Okay, what are the things that you need to take into consideration before you take finance from certain places? Okay, and then to decide about the allocation of funds into profitable avenues. Okay, so when you have the funds to run your business, okay, how do you keep it safe? Where do you want to put your money? Okay, and then how much money that you are going to use for certain things, the allocations lah, okay, for the activities in your business. Okay, and then looking at the dividend is appropriation of profits. Okay, so when you have profits, what to do with it? Okay, so that is also in financial management. Okay, and then efficient management of cash in order to ensure liquidity and profitability. I think before this, you have also learned about financial management a bit. So you know that when you have cash, either you want to keep it as cash so that it's easier for you to use. But sometimes, if you invest that cash into asset, for example, then you can get more returns, but it's not going to be easy for you to use in times of emergency. Okay, so that will also be included in financial management. And the last one is to exercise financial controls in order to promote safety, profitability, and conservation of funds. So that is actually all the things that you need to think about. Okay, in doing financial management for your business. Okay, so it's not easy. It's not something that you can take lightly because it affects your business, whether your business can prosper in the future or it collapse in the future. Okay, inshallah it's not going to collapse, but then you need to understand finance side. So it's not only marketing is for you to sell your products, okay, where to find your customers and all that. But on the finance side, if you make decisions and not based on the risk and return, for example, it's not going to work as a whole for your company. Okay, so it is needed. And then uh, uh, for an entrepreneur, actually, you need to know, you need to be wholesome. You need to know about the marketing side, the finance side, the on the accounting side, and then on the production side. But then, if you are academician or you are very focused, for example, it needs to have different type of people who handle finance, who handle marketing. Okay, because sometimes your strength is not in numbers. So it is up to the entrepreneur whether to handle the finance himself or herself, or you take somebody from outside to advise you on the finance side. If you don't have that knowledge, so you can go to other people to give advice to you. Okay, because as we know, we have our strength, we have our weaknesses. So sometimes there are people who their weakness is when they want to handle finance. Okay, so you can have advisor, but you choose your advisor lah. We don't want the advisor to take the money from the company. Okay. All right. So farmers, what should they ask themselves? Okay. So they ask themselves about the, like I said, the production. Okay. And then so when you want to ask yourself on the production, it must have something to do with the cost. Okay. I've have conversation with people who are not entrepreneurs. When I ask them, for your land, what do you want to produce? They just they just come up with answers like they want to produce watermelon, they want to produce pineapple, they want to produce mangoes. Okay, but the answer comes in a very fast way. Okay, they don't they don't actually think that much. They can answer in less than 5 minutes when I ask. Okay, so that means when they answer, it's just and then when I ask back, why do you choose that fruits? Okay, for you to produce, they just answer, well, it's easy to produce. So when you answer like that, that means you are only thinking about the production side without thinking about the financial side. That means you don't think about what's the cost of producing these fruits, what are the time needed, what are the risks, is there any what you call that, any risk of pest for the trees, okay, or for the fruits? How do you want to tackle that issue? Is it going to take more cost in using pesticide? Do you need to build might be like closure to make sure that pests will not go to the fruits? So that is not usually this one is going to be answered by scientists, the ones that do research but they don't think about the cost. So if you are farmers, you cannot have the kind of thinking like this. When you want to produce something, you think about the production and you have to think about the cost. Okay, and then market analysis, like in Malaysia, what do you want to we have issues on food security now, okay, because of high cost of fertilizer and pesticide, and then we have issues on our ringgit is declining in value. So we have many things, and then for food products we import many things, okay. So when you think about, I'm thinking chilies will not be enough in Malaysia at the moment or in the near future. So you want to produce chili. But at that time, you never think about where you are going to sell that chili, your produce. Where are you going to market your produce? So actually, even before you want to plant your trees, you need to actually do some research on where you want to market your product. Okay, so you see on production, you see on finance, you see on the market. Okay, then you go to business plan. Okay, when you do business plan, you are going to look at the economic side also, because you want to do that SWOT analysis, PESTEL. So I'm thinking you have heard about all these things. So don't compartmentalize and forgot about the things that you have learned before. So all these different aspects in business, actually you need to combine everything to use when you work in companies after this, or you become entrepreneurs. Okay, so it's not something yang after you have learned something last semester, this semester you said, okay, now we move to next topic. I don't need to think about the previous one because exam is already passed. Okay, so all this you need to combine. Okay, and then you look at equity and liquidity. Okay, so if something happens, can you take out the money? Okay, for example, we have this COVID-19 situation. So if, for example, you have many so much cash before this, and then you think that you want to have higher returns, so you buy assets, you buy might be buildings, you put your money in stocks, bonds, for example, and that bond you cannot cash it in 5 years time or 10 years time, because you want to have higher returns, right? So you put into bonds that you cannot cash out in 10 years. So what happens when the economy suddenly crash? You don't have money, you cannot produce or you cannot sell your product. So we are seeing many companies that cannot survive after COVID-19. So might be these are the issues, because COVID-19 is something that we did not experience at all during our lifetime. So people were not prepared for this. Okay, and then these are the things that I said just now. Is the operation large enough to provide the required family living withdrawal? If not, is there sufficient off-farm income? You see, you can see that the money comes every time you sell your product, but then is it enough actually to cover the cost that you have given out before you in the production process, or before you sell your product? So is it actually enough? Sometimes we tend to see, oh, the money is coming in, so you feel happy. But when you do the financial analysis, then you see, oh, actually I should not buy my my Toyota car, because actually the monthly payment comes from the store money. It's not actually the profit that goes into your own pocket. Okay, so these are the things that you need to really take care on. Okay, and then the risk. Okay, actually we can have a topic on risk management, but then this can also be looked at different kind of risk. In marketing there are risks, in finance there are risks, in operation also there are different type of risk. So we can include risk management in each of the topics that we are looking at in business. Okay, and then management information, monitoring business performance. How do you know that you are doing the right thing? Where do you get all the information from? Okay, so farmers, as if you have in mind that farmers can be anybody, can be people who are not highly educated, but then actually they really have many things to think about. It's not easy actually. So don't ever think that farmers in your surrounding, in your country, are people who are having very simple job. Okay, they just use their energy and that's it. No, they really have to think about everything. Okay, in order for them to produce, sell, and also get the a good profit for their business. Okay, another issue that I have with students, Islam students, okay, Islamic students, is they said that you cannot think about profit that much when you do business. Actually, you need to think about profit, because that profit is actually the ones that is going to give you money for you to live. Okay, it's only that in Islam you cannot have too much profit that uh, uh, punish the customers. That means they have to pay too much for the price, for the product that they get. That is ridiculous. But then profit is needed for the entrepreneur, because that is actually the money that they will use for their life, okay, and for their family. So it's not saying that profit is bad. Okay, if you don't want to have profit, that means you are NGO lah. Okay, non-profit organization. So that is different. But for entrepreneurs, you have to think about profit. Okay. Okay. Now, previously I said that the financial management deals about three things. Okay. For example, I show again this one. Financial decision looks at first investment decision, second is financing decision, and the third one is dividend decision. Okay, so the first one is this one. Okay, investment decision. So for investment decision, it's to determine how the firm's fund are invested in different assets. Okay, so that is on investment decision. So you need to identify, you have money in your company, in your farm. Where do you want to invest your cash? Okay, either it is a long-term investment or short-term investment. Like I said, it depends on the risk and return. So if it's like individual, if you think about yourself, investment decision is, example, you have 1 million rupiah. So to get some more profit out of it, what do you want to do with that money? Do you want to buy gold, or you want to keep in the bank for fixed deposit, okay, FD, or you want to invest in stocks? The one that right now, I think some of the students are trying to become stockbroker. Can everything online, so you buy stock and then hoping that the price will increase. Okay, so that is also a type of investment decision. So what do you want to do? Okay, there's one student who asked me, when I graduated after this and I work, which one is better for me to invest? She asked me, okay, and then my answer is, usually when students after they graduated, they work or they have their own company, the money that they receive usually is only enough for you to live. It's not even enough for them to invest in whatever, in gold or whatever, because at that time you are thinking about having starting your life. You want to think about getting married. That is also, you don't have enough money for everything. But in the future, if you are entrepreneurs, if you are working with companies, then you need to think about investment decision. Okay. So types of investment, you can have short term and you can have long term investment decision. So short term is working capital, where you decide on the capital required to meet day to day or running the business. How do you want to run the business? So you are talking about cash, inventory, receivables. You sell your product. People owe you money. So when are you going to get that money from them? Okay, you receive money daily for your sales. What are you going to do with that money? Okay, because you have risk of people coming to your store and um, um, you know, we have thieves, okay, that they can take the money from you. Okay, we have flash floods, we have other natural disasters. So sometimes it's not that good for you to hold too much cash. So what are you going to do with that? Okay, so you have to think about short-term investment decision, right? And then long-term investment decision, this is capital budgeting decisions. Okay, investment in fixed assets or long-term projects which will yield return and influence the earning capacity of business over a period of time. So this one is the ones that you hope um, can give you more return for your money. Okay, but then we will discuss more on this capital budgeting tomorrow morning. Okay, so capital budgeting can affect the amount of assets you have, your competitiveness in the market, and also profitability of business. Because sometimes we have people who are very risk averse, or they don't want to take too much risk. When you don't want to take too much risk, then you are going to invest in things that do not give high returns. But if you are a risk taker, then you will think about how to invest in something that can give higher return. But higher return means higher risk. Okay. The classic example that I have is after I finished my high school, before I started working. I'm still studying at that time. My friend is very high risk taker, and then he did stock. He was a stockbroker. Okay. After 1 or 2 years, suddenly he said, all his money, he lost all his money. He cannot even get married because all the money he invested in stocks, and then suddenly the price went down in one day. So it's very, very the expected return is very, very high, but the risk is also high. So something happens, then you lose everything. Okay. So we will talk about capital budgeting tomorrow. Okay. So now these are factors affecting your decisions on long-term investment is on the expected cash flow. Okay. If you are putting money in things like for 10 years, how are they going to pay you yearly, for example? Or is it no payment yearly and then you get the full amount at the end of 10 years? Okay. Or is it going to be given in might be 2 or 3 times? Okay. You need to have some knowledge on how to assess the risk in order for you to choose which types of investment that you are going to put your money into. Okay. Ratio analysis also need to be done to evaluate the feasibility of the proposed project, to compare with similar projects, so that you are in the know of which one that you are going to invest on. Okay, so you are making decisions with knowledge. It's not on impulse. It's not based on what people say. Sometimes we have this because our friends are going into certain things. We are also want to do that. Okay, just because people say that it's going to be high profits. Okay, but for you to give your money to somebody, okay, you need to make your decisions with knowledge. Okay. So the second one, that one is investment. Now the second one is financing decision. Okay, financing decision determining the amount of finance to be raised from different sources of finance. Okay, that means when you open up your business, or you after a while you want to expand your business, where do you want to get that money from? Okay, either you use own sources or borrowed sources. Okay, so if you have your own money, if you have shares, if you have retained earnings, you can use that to expand your business. Okay, but then sometimes you don't have enough money. So where do you want to get the money from to expand your business? So you can have debentures, bonds, loans, public deposit. So these are some types of borrowed sources that you can think about, okay, to get money to expand or to open up your business, right? So consideration whether to issue debt or issue equity. Okay. Debt, for example, if you take debt, that means you are going to get the money. Okay, you are going to get the money to expand your business, but then you need to pay some interest. Okay, so you need to think about is it worth for you to get finance from that? Okay, the difference between debt and equity is that if you open up equity, then somebody else is going to have some say in your company also. Okay, they are like it can be shareholder. It can also if there are shareholders, if you sell too much, might be they can take over from you. Okay, so you need to have some security when you want to issue equity. Okay, and then debt, for example, you take money from other people or from the banks. Usually they will look into whether they are confident that you can pay up your loan. Okay, if they feel that you cannot pay up, okay, then chances are your application will be rejected, or they will give lesser than what you asked for. Okay, in Malaysia, for issuance of debt, if it is issued to small farmers, where they don't have asset, they cannot they don't have anything to have it as a bond for their debt. What they do is they have small groups. Like in one village, there's a group of people, group of farmers that take debt, and then to pay off that debt, there will be like one leader in that group who always will go and ask these people to pay up. And the payment is like weekly when they sell their produce. So for big companies, it's different type of debt, different type of loans, how to pay off your loan. Okay, usually it's monthly. Okay, but then for small farmers like this, in Malaysia we have different way of giving them money. It's not that much. It's like sometimes they take only 1,000 ringgit or 2,000 ringgit. So it's a small amount, but then they need it to might be buy seeds or buy fertilizer. So payment will be collected or and also reminded by their leader in the community. So there are ways that different ways of bank giving loans, of certain agency giving loans, and who are the people who are taking the loans. Okay, so as a farmer themselves, they need to think about that. Can they take finance from loans from banks? If they cannot take from banks, okay, is there any other sources that they can get their finances? Okay, but it is really needed. If not, they cannot start their production, for example. So it is very important in financial management. So factors will be cost. Okay, if your loan is higher than equity, okay, flotation cost, cash flow, fixed operating cost, the control of your shareholder if you give too much equity, okay, and then capital market, okay, if you raise equity capital or debt, then it has a different different effect on your business. Okay, so you need to think about you need to think about the consideration of all factors before you choose whether how do you want to get money for your business. Okay, and then lastly, on dividend decision. So this one is if your company is big enough to have profit and then give dividend to your shareholders. Okay, so dividend decisions relate to disposal of profit by deciding what proportion to give out the profit and also how to distribute among your shareholder. Okay, and then it's not going to be 100% of the profits that you want to give to the shareholder. You want to retain some, okay, for your own business or for your safety of your business. But then how much that you actually want to share with the shareholders, how much you want to retain, okay. If you give equity, actually, if you give higher value of dividend, then many other people wants to invest in your company. But then, are you sure that you can sustain giving higher percentage of dividend to all these people? Because if you start to give lower dividend, then they are going to take out their money from your company. So that is actually things that you need to think and make decisions, okay, on dividend, right? And then how much time do I have left?
Around 2 minutes, and then we will have a
2
discussion.
minutes, okay. All
No
right.
problem. We will.
Okay, so factors affecting dividend decisions will be your money comes in, your earnings are high, dividends are paid at higher rate, but then dividend your earnings are stable. Might be you want to think about whether you want to pay high dividends or not. Like I said, once you start to give higher dividends, your stakeholder will expect next year will be higher, next year will be higher, then the other year will be higher. So are you going to set that what you call that that pace to the expectation of the stakeholders of your company, okay. And then if you have if you don't want to increase the dividend payment for your stakeholders, might be you choose to maintain stable dividend, except when there's something happens in the economy, such as COVID-19. You don't have income, of course, you don't have profits, and you cannot pay out dividend, okay. And then if you want to reduce dividend, can you tell the reason to the stakeholders, okay. Because sometimes you need to reduce because you are going to expand your business. That means you want to buy more land, or you want to invest in certain structures in your farm. So you need more money. So because of you need more money, you need to retain more money for your own company. You need to tell the stakeholders that you are going to pay lower dividend to them, okay. And then the dividends are paid in cash. Therefore, if the cash flow of the company is good, it is likely to pay higher dividends. This is we call it as the logic way lah, okay. Not logic is, but we see that mostly also in the current situation of businesses right now. Sometimes they say that, oh, for this year we have profits of how many million ringgit, but then the dividend is like that also. Sometimes they reduce it, okay. But like I said, shareholder, is up to them whether they are happy with your company or not. If they are happy, they will retain their money there. If not, they will take it out and put somewhere else. So for you to decide how much dividend to give to the shareholder, actually it will determine whether they are happy or not, or whether they are going to keep their money in your company or not, okay. And then shareholder prefer regular income, yes. Because sometimes they take loan just to buy shares from your company. So if your company give dividends of, for example, 5%, and then the loan that they take from the bank to buy share from you is the interest is 2%. That means they are going to have 3% lah, of this one is simple calculation lah. Okay, 3% of profits. So because of this, that's why they will see whether you are giving out dividends that is enough for them to cater their loans from banks. Okay. If tax rate is high, company is likely to pay less dividend because they have to spend more. Okay. If the company wants to have positive reaction from stock market, they will pay higher dividends. So there is actually one specific course in finance if you want to talk about stock and bonds and all this. Okay, if you are really more into this, you can take that kind of courses. Okay. So you can see all these factors affecting dividend decisions. Okay, and then we have financial planning. Okay, planning is very, very important, especially in managing businesses. Okay, so financial planning is estimating funds requirement of a business and specifying the source of fund. How much do you need, where to get it, okay, and then how are you going to use it? So that is in financial planning. Okay. Sometimes when you are not careful, you can obtain more money than is needed, but then you spend too much on unnecessary things. So you need to avoid that. Okay. So financial planning is to ensure smooth running. So might be in the future there's something's going to be happening. So you need to have some savings at that time. Okay. And then to have your marketing and production functions. Okay. And your policies and procedures. So sometimes it takes money to do that. Okay. We don't want any wastage of funds. Okay. We want what we are doing now is actually profitable for the future. Okay. And then link between investment and financing decisions and facilitate easy performance so that we can actually have check and balance. Okay. So the ones that we have covered actually is on financial decision. Okay. Financial management is on procurement and utilization of funds. So we talked about the importance. We talked about financial decisions on investment, financing, and dividend. Okay. And then this one we are going to see tomorrow. Okay. And then for investment, either short term or long term. And for financing decisions, we will look into cost, risk, rotation cost, and until control consideration, and also dividend decisions. Okay, what factors affecting dividend decisions? So that's it for me actually. If you have any questions, thank you.
Thank you very much for the insightful and very informative lectures by Dr. Juwaidah Sharufuddin. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the Q&A session. The housekeeping rules is just in case you have a question, you can just deliver online through raise hand or write in the chat box. Don't forget to mention your name and also class for students. All right, so Dr. Juwaidah Sharufuddin, I'm very interested to have a discussion with you. Last year, under the we have a research together with Dr. Agustina Sinta and Miss Destiana Pratiwi about the financial management happened in the farmers in Singosari district in Malang. And we can see that farmers used to have such criteria, like they used to have planning, but they don't have like a notes. So they just remember everything. What do you think about this? in Malaysia's farmer situation? Thank you.
Okay. So that happens in Malang. That also happens for certain farmers in Malaysia too. Okay, especially those who are, like I said, they don't want to think too much for the finance, or they are not comfortable dealing with finance situation, because we have research among the rice farmers. Okay, when we ask how much actually you use for this last year, for this, for the fertilizer, for the pesticide, how much did you pay for your seed? Sometimes I can see they are like thinking, just having whatever that is in their mind. So they don't take notes, they don't jot down. Actually, this is why we are also starting to, if if the farmers are already senior citizen, more than 50 years old, when you want to change their behavior is very, very hard. So what we are trying right now is for the young entrepreneurs, young farmers, try to have them, start them with keeping records. So record keeping ni actually is a hassle. Even as a lecturer, when I have to put everything in record for audit purposes, it takes time. So we also understand that for farmers, because like lecturers, we don't use energy that much. We talk, we use our brain. Okay. But then farmers, they use their energy. So at the end of the day, how do you want them to um, take everything, the bills that they pay, and put that in certain book, or using their smartphone to jot down, take notes. So it's not easy. So it needs to you need to spend time to do that. So for young entrepreneurs and farmers, we are trying to get them to start this, and also don't leave it, because once you start, actually, then we might be you need to have sessions, a continuous session for might be 6 months or 1 year, so that it's completed one cycle, and then you can show the benefits of doing that with the farmers. If they cannot see the benefits of doing that, it's just taking up their time, they have to do more things, then um, it will not be continuing. Okay, they will not continue after you leave them. Okay, so if you can do that, you can show them the benefit of doing that, then inshallah, hopefully they will continue doing that in the future without you check on them. So that one is, yeah, a normal thing. I think for senior farmers.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we do agree that to show the benefit can make them boost the good habits of maybe having although it is simple, but they still have the notes with financial planning. All right, now let's go to other question. Anyone?
Uh, um, while waiting for other questions,
Yes, yes.
I just want to add, might be when we want to tell them what to jot down, what to take note of, we can also tell them, if you want to say about cost, okay, cost of fertilizer, for example, you need to explain what can be included inside this one, what is to be included in another category. So use examples, the ones that they are using. They are paying for what? They are paying for, might be they go to a shop and they buy one packet of spray. Okay, so that one is to be included in which category. So at least they know how to take note. It's not only telling them everything you need to write down, everything you need to write down, but at least you tell them how to do it. So hopefully they see the benefits of doing that lah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Any question? So while we were waiting for the question also, actually the research of Bu Dewi and Bu Sinta and me, we trying to promote the technology in terms of financial taking notes. We also try to introduce a system that is made from the research. It is a grant actually, so that the farmers who has the cell phone can use the system made by Bu Sinta and Bu Dewi and friends like that. So they just put in the based on, you know, that I do agree with you that we need to make them understand first which post. I mean, you know that there is cash, there is capital, there is other name of the bookkeeping. So we also have already done a practice. However, of course, because in Indonesia almost the same. So the farmers, as the respondent last year, was divided into young farmers and rather old farmers, and the younger one is easily to absorb the information, while the old farmers they find it a little bit difficult. However, yeah, if we see from the point of view of the old farmers, I do agree with your saying before that they have more effort. I mean, they use more energy, and they still don't think that the bookkeeping and the process according to them takes time. But I think it is still a process, because usually the old farmers are the one who has more land. I mean, the area is more than the younger. That's why it is always be very important and sexy topics to be discussed in the area of financial management. Okay. Right. So we have one question only, since this is only for finish at 10 o'clock, from Muhammad Fauzi Ramadan. This is a student in my class. So I will read it for you. As an investor who wants to invest in agriculture, which is more profitable and safe, investing in farmland or agriculture, many investors regard agricultural investment as recession resistant. However, many startups such as Tani Joy in Indonesia have become a fraudulent investment. Many investors, for example, Bill Gates, choose to invest on farmland, and approximately he has 242,000 acres of farmland with total assets of more than $690 million. How do you respond on that question? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad Fauzi Ramadan, for that question. It's lengthy, but then, okay. Looking at whether to invest in agriculture or farmland, okay, and you see many instances, examples that people invest poorly, and they get into bad business because their investment is not giving pay up profits to them. But then, like, you want to see Bill Gates, for example, asset dia tinggi because he spent 690 million. But then that is the ones that he declare. The ones that do not give benefits, or he might be he spent on and it doesn't give back profits to him, that one he will not tell. Okay, so for normal people like us, it's also like that. Safer or not, either it's risky or not, it's depending on the business or land that you actually invest on. Okay, because farmland, for example, if you want to buy lands can be it can be very good land, but then if after you buy that land, you don't have enough capital to do something on that land, that means that land only lies idle like that. Okay, and there are people who have bought farmlands, that land is good, but it's near the river bank, and then when they come back in 1 year time, they want to sell that land, suddenly the land is not there anymore because the river is getting bigger and bigger, and then your land is in the river. So you lose all your investment, just like that. So actually, yes, we have in Islam, we have qada and qadar. Okay, that is your fate. But then when you want to decide on certain things, that is the need of knowledge. Okay, like I said, higher risk investment, it will give higher profit. Okay, but then it's risky. But there are people who likes to take all these high risk because they want to get higher profit. When they get that profit is very, very high, and it's like they can stay relaxed for 5 years, might be. Okay, but then what happen if it doesn't work, okay, in the way that you want? So the one that in Malaysia, we have also billionaire. That billionaire also have declared and tell us that, yes, you see, my investment that give me profit is the ones that I tell you about. But in 10 investment, usually is going to be sometimes 5 or 6 that did not go the way that he wants. So only 2 or 3 that is good and give profits to him. So there's no right or wrong answer to your questions in investment. It's not, you cannot just say, oh, doing this is safer than doing this, because different places, different type of agriculture activity, different types of how much money that you want to spend to invest, that can also give impact on whether you get profit or not from your investment. Sometimes investment tu orang lain, other people can get profit from that in 2 or 3 years, but you have to wait for 7 years just because there are suddenly government change the policy, suddenly something happens in the economy. So things like this is you cannot have certain answers. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we do agree. All right. From Bu Sinta, Dr. Sinta, she would like to say, thank you, Bu Juwaidah, for your answer. This financial application will disseminate all right, to other farmers in other villages so that more and more farmers are aware of the recording of their farming cash flow. Maybe it can help to find financing in the future. Yes, it is the application that I mentioned earlier before you answer the question. All right.
Yeah. Like I said, for the existing farmers, they have been doing the same thing for many years. They don't have problem. So when you want to introduce something new, they will say, so why are we supposed to do this? Okay. So you need to show them that it can increase their efficiency, or it can lead towards lesser money being waste. So these are the things that they need to understand first before they can accept any applications or software that you want to show to them.
All right. So the evidence, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Putiwi, one more question or time's up?
I would like to ask something, Bu Novi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
go on.
I'm quite interesting with when Dr. Juwaidah explained about kind of investment. Nowadays, there are so many application, online based application in Indonesia, which allow the user to try or to learn how to buy some shares or bonds by online. Now, I would like to ask to Dr. Juwaidah, how about the trend in there? That my first question. And the second is on your PowerPoint before, I found debentures. Honestly, I never know about debentures. Maybe you would like to explain more about debentures, or maybe Ms. Novi know the Indonesian word of debentures, maybe, because it's the first time I heard about the ventures. Okay, I think that's enough, Novi.
All right.
All right.
So, okay, for the ventures, I will discuss some of it in tomorrow's topic. Okay, but for the investment that are available right now, I will admit that I'm a lecturer because I'm not a risk taker. Okay, so there are so many ways for investment right now, and most, I think, very high percentage that is not a right one, and then they only take your money, and you will. It's like at first you will get some profit, and then after you feel you get excited, so you put more money, and then you get more profit, and then you get excited, you put more money, and that is where when you will have loss. Okay, so for me, if you want to try all this online buying shares and all that, you can learn about it. You can discuss about people who are really good at it before deciding to put so much money into that, because it's like when people can promise you bulan bintang, okay, all the stars and moon and whatever that they can give you back so much for your money, that is usually cannot be that way. Okay, if they can give you too much profit for the initial investment that you give, how come they themselves are not billionaire by this time? So you need to take care of your money yourself, okay? And at the same time, when you want to increase the value of your money, please have some apa ni, something in your heart to really evaluate, okay? That's why in Islam also they say don't be too greedy, okay? Because if not, these people will use you to get to your money. Okay, that is why in Malaysia right now, after COVID-19, and we have what our government is saying that we can take out our money from pension fund. So when people know that there are going to be people with more cash in hand, so these scammers will come and say, why don't you take your cash and put in investment in our company? So they will lose most of their money by that way. But you only might be you are going to lose 10,000 ringgit. But then if they have like 300 people investing 10,000 ringgit, so that person will have so much money just taking from all of these people. So please, all the students also, because scammers in Malaysia also targets to students who get scholarship. So hopefully when people come to you and say that invest your money, because you get at one time a lot of money, so why don't you invest your money to this scheme, to another scheme? So think first, because if you lose that money, how are you going to pay for your education? Okay, all right.
All right. Thank you very much. Talking about financial planning with you is always be very interesting. Like our previous lecture, Agribusiness Marketing Management, and the discussion is also very engaging. I'll see you again tomorrow at 9 Indonesian times or 10 at Malaysia times. Thank you very much for the valuable lectures, Dr. Juwaidah Sharufuddin. I hope to see you again tomorrow. And I turn it over to Miss Tiwi. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bu Juwaidah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation and also discussion holding by Dr. Juwaidah. And now all of the students, we are finally to come to the end of today 3-in-1 classes, and let us close the 3-in-1 class by reciting Alhamdulillah. Okay, those are all of the agenda that we need to hold this morning, and we hope we can meet one more time for tomorrow 3-in-1 classes, still with Dr. Juwaidah in better condition. Okay, thank you so much for Dr. Juwaidah for today's class, and see you on the next classes. Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a good day, everyone.
Dr. Juwaidah, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Dr. Juwaidah.
Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Bapak dan Ibu yang lain sudah hadir dan juga
sama-sama.
Oh, selamat hari raya.
Jangan lupa besok.
Selamat hari raya.
Selamat hari raya. Sehat selalu.